It's the hot show, and I don't know how it's gonna go. It's a hot show, and I can't guess what's gonna happen next. So come on and join in. Let's do the hot show. Howdy. Welcome to the hot show.
Hello.
I'm Hot Cat. Joined today by Karlene Kantner. And once again by our good friend Skunky Beaumont. How are you doing, Skunky?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Now, Karlene, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right as well.
That's good.
Yeah, I had a nice busy day at the garden nursery, and now I'm enjoying my. It's my last day of my week, so I'm enjoying that feeling of not anticipating waking up early to go to work, but instead anticipating doing whatever I'd like instead tomorrow. You know that feeling?
That weekend feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really nice. Now, Karlene, there's some important business here. Often we like to find out. As you know, I am a cat, and I'd like to find out what kind of animal are you?
I thought you might ask that the way you entered into that question. Maybe I'm a turtle?
A turtle. Ooh. Turtle. Specifically turtle, or are you thinking also tortoise in there?
Geez, maybe tortoise too. I don't know. Yeah, possibly. I'm still not entirely clear on the main difference of the two.
So my understanding is that turtles refer to the sea creature that swims and has like the kind of like flippers, and like if it's on land, it's kind of like moves like that.
Yeah.
And tortoises are the ones with legs.
I see.
That's my understanding. Skunky, do you have any understanding of this?
Nothing more than what you got. I think you pretty well nailed it.
Cool.
Well, I guess I do enjoy swimming, but I guess I probably relate more to those gnarly legs than than nice like flipping legs that swim. Yeah, I guess I feel like a turtle. It might be my sweater right now that I'm wearing, but there's been in the place that we live now, we live near a lot of wetlands, and so seeing turtles, probably tortoise, maybe more often is such a treat. And when we first moved here, my partner Chris we share a truck, and so if he'd come to pick me up, he'd be a little late, and he'd tell me a story about trying to move a big snapping turtle out of the middle of the road using like a just ice scraper or something, and how that just suddenly became a new story of our lives.
This was a story told a few times, like different snapping turtles.
Yeah. There's this like one particular bridge where there would be turtles out frequently, and it's right on our commute to my job, so it would happen a couple of times. It's funny.
That's funny.
Hmm. Yeah, I do compare. I like to compare like the norms of now living over here on the East Coast, where it's a lot more. It's lush and it's wet
Mm.
and like so full and beautiful in that way, and then compare it to out west, where we both met and where I spent the first 30 years of my life, and how open, expansive, and dry it was there.
Mm.
Beautiful in a totally different way.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a lot of different, different stories and different things that happen day to day. It's interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is very interesting. Like the because I grew up in a not very wet place, but a very green place, um, and I, as you said, met you in a very dry place, and like moving to that dry place, there were a lot of different things to think about in that environment. I mean, like, of course, the fires was a really big one, um, but also like just like the sparseness of and like space between like nature, like
Hmm.
wildlife, like especially, like there'd be like it'd be more rare to like like see a squirrel out in the woods or
Yeah,
something.
I do know what you mean. That space between's a cool way to put it. I I had a couple of coworkers here the other day ask me what was the most common roadkill out west, and I could only really think of deer mostly,
Right.
because there wasn't. I mean, out here it's like, geez, all kinds of little mammals at all times, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
squirrels and um, I don't know. I'm about to blank on all my mammals that I see every day, but yeah, so I was thinking like there's just less little critters running around across the road. It's just a different world. There are a lot of spaces in between.
Um,
Good things.
are there some skunks out there?
Yeah, there's skunks.
A lot of skunks.
Yeah, a lot of skunks and porcupines. More
Ooh,
porcupines here, like right in our little cul-de-sac, than I've ever seen in my life.
wow. I've never.
Fox.
I don't think I've lived anywhere that has had a lot of porcupines. That's
Yeah. Yeah, they're funny creatures. They really take their time.
Hmm.
They're in no rush.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't have to be as much of a rush as like a squirrel or something.
Yeah. They we escorted one down the street one afternoon to hopefully get it down underneath the little ravine there, get off the road, and it just walked alongside our car for like a while. It didn't hop off the side. It could have, but it just took its time.
No, Skunky, um, last time that you were on, you said that you felt like you were a slug, I believe.
Mm.
Um, are you still feeling slug-like?
Today I'm feeling more like a dung beetle.
Dung beetle.
Oh.
Been
So,
rolling shit all day long.
so, yeah, you are no longer kind of like oozing shit. You're just kind of pushing it around. I feel like that's a step up in a certain way. I mean, I don't want to like make
So
some.
That's offensive to slugs, sir.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to make a hierarchy, but like in terms
No.
in terms of like your experience that is leading you to feel these ways, I feel like maybe that's a step up.
Potato, potato.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
What is that there's that one beetle that totally subsists off of eating dead carcasses, or it buries itself within one and has its like lays its eggs in there. It's called
I know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you what it is.
it's right in here.
Mm.
The burying beetle, the American burying beetle. One time we were on a walk, Chris and I, and we noticed this dead vole like on the side of the trail, clearly dead. But it was moving, like being kind of being nudged, but nothing was really around it. And eventually we saw this giant beetle like emerge from underneath of it. And they, yeah, they just like make their homes in dead little critters.
I didn't.
And Nico Forest. Like Chris is sweet. He's texting me nice memory jogger words to help me remember this story. I don't know what I would do without him.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a lo-fi version of like having like a little thing in here of like someone being, okay, say this.
Yes. Yeah, totally. I need that person. Like anyway.
I don't know if I was familiar with this burying beetle.
We thought that we just discovered a new species, and he even emailed somebody in the education, like the university system, and she was like, "Oh no,
We know about that.
we know about the burying beetle."
We lost Skunky. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I leaned forward and then came back, and he was gone.
Well, maybe he'll pop back up again. So I wrote a little song for this episode.
Oh, great!
Do you want to hear it? I
Yes.
unfortunately didn't have time to write a guitar part for it, but I'm gonna try to see if I can remember how to sing it.
I'd love to hear it.
Rewilding, remembering that you're a child of the greenery, the dancing bees, the little ants, and flowering trees. Do you believe the rewilding is how we swing from the tired, disconnected towards the entwined collective? Oh, do you see these bodies need some rewilding?
Wow. I love your mention of the bodies needing it at the end and the swinging.
Yeah, and really everything, most things, I guess, like most things that I sang about in that song, really were inspired by those texts that you sent me when I kind of asked you about kind of what's in your mind. Oh, Skunky's back.
Skunky.
Hey, Skunky. We lost you for a second. Were you getting some more dung?
I was getting a little wild.
Good. We need that. Yeah, you sent me these beautiful texts because you recently had a uh, art show, kind of, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was less of an formal exhibition. It was at a trade show.
Okay.
So I was technically a vendor,
Hmm.
but we set it up very beautifully. And I must say so myself. Chris built these beautiful, simple kind of shaker style tables and stained them white. And we put all of the work on the tables. And they were all in varying heights. Some were square, some were large rectangles, some were narrow. So there was a lot of variation there. And then at the feet of the tables, I made some porch pots, what I call porch pots. And they're very simple coil pots, smooth sides, usually with a scalloped edge on the top and the bottom. And because I wanted to, and I filled them with perennial plants because I wanted to plant a garden for the booth itself for the pots that I was selling.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And so a lot of the text that I sent you were like things that I'd written down in the past. I kind of have like a long going sheet, spreadsheet type of thing um, on my computer. So when I get ready for shows or have to write about work, I can reference ideas. I don't think I'm brilliant all the time. And so it's good to have that thing so I can reference it.
Yeah, that's really cool. So these were things that you had written a little bit already, like kind of thoughts that you had kind of been working on for a little bit about the work you were doing.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really nice. Now, do you have any pictures of your work? Um,
Yeah, I do. I do, yeah. They're all up on my website. And then my Instagram's a kind of a closer to a blog sort of thing where I post some process work too, some garden pictures, some pictures of Madge and Chris and um but a lot of just the work, yeah.
here, um, let me pull this up because I feel like your work is very unique.
Hmm.
Um,
There she is.
it's so nice. It's
Thank you.
uh, it's also really cool because um, oh, I should have grabbed it ahead of time. Um, but I have some work that you gave me, just like little small pieces that you made. Um, like when you were kind of just first starting to get into this kind of ceramic, I mean, ceramics in general, but I think especially this style uh,
Mhm.
that you've been working with. But it's really cool to see how you really developed that style. Here, I'm going to go grab it real quick.
I'd really love to see it. My little sister has most of all my early stuff. She has like paintings of flippers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from the basket party.
Yeah. And here, let me fake a plant in here. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really cool. And like, there's like this hole here.
Mhm.
Uh, and like, they just like have a very unique like uh, style to them, especially like within ceramic work. I feel, um, but it's cool to see how like this has some of that same quality kind of to it, but it I don't know, like uh, other places that is there somewhere I should look at this, like the Bramble collection? Is that
Go to Sisters Floral Design first.
cool?
That will show us all of the larger vessels in their in fullness. and you can get a glimpse of scale. A couple of pictures of next one, that one.
Well, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That does give some nice scale to it.
Yeah. So this collection I made in Rochester, New York, which is what brought us out east in the first place. I mean, it was kind of our Chris's family is out here, but it was kind of our first catalyst to like really get up and move and leave Missoula and just kind of say goodbye to Montana for a while and see what was next. So I had a residency at the Flower City Art Center, and this is their gallery there. So I made all of these big vessels. And this one with the green on top, this one in particular, well, actually, I should back up. I started making 3 at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I knew that they would take time to set up, I'm not able to work this big quickly. It has to be very slow.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine so.
So I figured if I made just get started on 3 at once, then I'll have 3 done all at the same time. And then I realized that they started as they were standing next to each other on my table that they started like really being related, even though they're different forms, have different surfaces and whatnot, but they were like sisters in a way, and I
Mm.
felt really connected to them. I'm one of two. I have 2 sisters, and I just started feeling, very, very connected to my own sisters, and realized that all of my pots were becoming sisters. So, so this is another sister. She's definitely the heaviest, the most girthy of them all.
Yeah, this one's very different than uh, the ones before this.
Hmm. Totally new clay, and it was like a brown clay, kind of a red clay actually, and I treated it with a black iron oxide stain, and it went purple,
Hmm.
which was very exciting. So I titled this one "Are Those My Stripes?" as if you went into your sister's closet and borrowed her clothes and came out wearing them. Uh, but I really like this one.
Yeah, and I like your choice of flowers to go with it as well.
Thank you. I had a great time designing all of these photographs. It was really like if it feels really nice to get the pieces out of the kiln, but like the rush of designing flowers and plants in them afterward is
Hmm.
like no other. It's yeah, it's like really important. I really, really enjoy that part.
That's really interesting. It it really like it's really fascinating because like um, it does it like it's really striking how you use kind of the shapes and the like colors of these different like arrangements, um, but like the the natural part of the arrangement, like the flowers and grasses and stuff, like can't last with it. So it's like kind of like cool that like you get so excited about like making this thing, which is like kind of essentially like ephemeral,
Hmm.
and then like I don't
Hmm.
know, like those your pieces like can still I don't know, you can like put new things in them and stuff. I don't know, it's interesting to me.
I love that. That's really neat. I hadn't really thought to put words like that together about it, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe that's part of it is that it's so like damn fresh.
Yeah.
Like each
Yeah.
time there's an arrangement, it's so fresh, and it's like, in your song you mentioned bodies needing, don't you see, or can't you see these bodies need the rewilding.
Mhm.
It's like we, I try to refrain from being too like kitschy metaphorical, but sometimes it does feel like the pots are the bodies,
Mm.
and that in the floral design and in the introduction of plants and in their role together, they are being rewilded again, even though they are made of clay all along. It's like a fresh reminder of their potential or something.
Mm.
And ephemeral is that's an exciting idea too. Because once you fire the clay, it's ceramic and it's not ephemeral any longer.
Right, right. Even though it's kind of made out of this very moldable um, substance. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like the process of firing. Though, like I feel like these the style that you have with this, like I don't know, like the shapes that you have, it feels like I think the roughness of it kind of feels like it could change. Like something
Mm.
like a like a bowl or something. Like you don't want this to change because a change means that it's cracked or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but like uh, the your forms have like a lot of like it feels like it could change and that's like a part of it. I don't know, it's cool.
Oh, that's good because I really embrace the movement that they take on.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
and maybe that's part of it is like they're kind of frozen in their action, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but the textures they all come from slabs. So I start by rolling out really thin slabs like you would cook like sugar cookie dough.
Mm,
Um, and then I rip them into strips and then score and slip whatever I need together. And
mm,
I start at the foot and work up, and just by adding them one line at a time or one little shape at a time, it moves and
oh, right, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it's not that the texture's like carved out or that I like build a form and then add to it. It's all integral to the form, like all of that texture makes it so that that idea that it could change or that it could move or she
Mm.
could put the weight on her other hip. That's kind of nice. That's very cool.
I like that. Mm.
Yeah, go ahead. Go to the Bramble
Let's
collection.
check it out. Let's check out the bramble.
So this is exciting. Um, when we we were in Rochester, I had taken on a second year of I was invited to stay a second year of my residency and accepted and was getting going. I was like 10 weeks into teaching a 12-week class, and COVID had begun by then. Um, it there was all sorts of um, difficulties with that. Um, just the uncertainty of it all, I guess, to
There's
be a little,
a lot of uncertainty.
yeah, less vague. I had lost two exhibition opportunities due to that, and then we we experienced like a lot of violence, um, Chris and I, in a
Mm.
really really short amount of time, and uh, it kind of came to a point where it was getting much too close. We had an apartment was lit on fire a few houses down from us. Um, Chris was robbed at gunpoint. There was a homicide next door that I heard happen.
Oh wow.
And then the kind of the icing on the cake was one morning being woken up to two guys in our apartment who had shot our neighbor upstairs. So we were like really at this point where we like didn't want to flee and leave, because we really loved Rochester, and Chris was really heavily involved with mutual aid there, and
Hmm.
things were like starting to really work out, but we realized that maybe it was time to go. And so we decided to come out for a fresh break to West Stockbridge, Massachusetts, where his parents are. Um, this is a long story, but I'll get to the bramble collection at the end, I promise. And so Chris's parents adopted this old house, like late 1700s house that was like the caretaker's house at the bottom of the hill of the large estate up at the top back in the day. And they are essentially still finishing it. And so Chris and I came to help, and Chris has helped his dad a lot with the house. But like I suddenly found myself without a kiln, and the sisters collection, that collection, I was building so much momentum, and then it just crashed. So
Yeah.
we went out into the back and we dug a pit, um, and engaged in wood firing again, which was how I first fell deeply in love with ceramics, was with the Onagama kiln up in Blue Mountain in Missoula, with some of my best friends and mentors, Jane Phillips and Casey Zablocki and uh, Glenn, and just some like amazing people. So Chris and I are basically teaching ourselves how to pit fire in an open pit, and we um, chopped up some ash that was in the back and fired this first collection here. All of it, the studio is just basically a little room in our apartment, and so I built all of this work, and this is this is where I'm laying the work down
Hmm.
into the hot coals. So this has been really important,
Oh wow.
really important development.
This one's so alive.
This one is called Rainbow.
Mhm.
I had my niece Azalea Josephine, sent me a picture of a rainbow that she colored.
Hmm.
And I knew I was kind of trying to think about different kinds of forms and thinking outside of the box. And then that came in the mail and I figured it out.
Oh, how nice. Hmm. So nice. It's so interesting.
Yeah. It's it's been really it's hard. We had the firing after this one was a complete failure, aside from the delicious breakfast sandwiches that Chris made on the coals. But everything else just exploded within the first 3 minutes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that the design. I like to. You might see some bolted broccoli in there, and
Hmm.
I love using veggies and
That's
herbs in my
cool.
designs.
Now, Skunky, I know that you're still with us here. I feel like we've kind of left not exactly left you out, but I feel like how's it going?
I'm very happily along for the ride.
Cool.
Sometimes it's just nice to observe. Although I might cut out. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyelids up.
Yeah.
I have to get up at 5, so
Oh boy. Sleep's a really good thing.
huh?
Sleep is a really good thing.
I try to do it every night.
Before you go, Skunky, we have a friend here who wants to say something. I'm gonna play a little ditty to bring him in. Somebody's here and it's Max.
Hello.
Hi, Max.
Hi, Karlene. How are you?
I'm so good.
That's good.
Great to see you.
Yeah, you too. I was here listening and watching, but I was eating, so I didn't want to be on camera. I liked the pieces that you showed.
Thank you.
Also, before you go, Skunky,
Hey.
there's another friend who wants to say goodbye. Somebody's here, and it's Fred Melamad's biggest fan, Ryan. Nope. Hey, Ryan.
Hey everyone.
Hello, Ryan.
Karlene, nice to meet you. I have really enjoyed hearing about your work.
Nice to meet you too.
Been listening in the waiting room.
Cool.
Skunky, before you go, I had to say hello. Great to see you.
Likewise.
Yeah, I wanted to say hello to you too, Skunky.
This is
Likewise.
so cool.
It's good to see you guys, but
Do you have to go?
Have a good night's sleep.
Rest
Thank you.
your weary eyes.
Goodbye.
All right, see you
Bye,
guys.
Skunky.
Yeah. I need to say goodnight.
I was going to ask if you had an outro song too.
I do have an outro song, but it's the outro for the entire show, not
Sure.
the get out of here Skunky song.
Beat it, Skunky.
Beat it, Skunky. That'll have to do for now. I think somehow I managed to stop on the last one, and it started over. As we were saying goodbye there. That was really lovely to actually go through your work, because I've seen like stuff, a little bit of stuff on social media at Karlene Kantner on Instagram.
Nice plug.
But it's cool to like really see it presented in a way that really highlights the work, like, and not just like kind of like a quick like process thing or something, you know. That was really lovely.
Good. Thanks for pulling it up.
Yeah. Now,
I like the plants and use of color with the plants.
Oh yeah. I really that last one with the little black petunias, that's one of my favorites.
the little tiny one.
Yeah. The little sigh, I call her.
That's nice. Now, Max and Fred Melamad's biggest fan. We were talking earlier about, of course, as you're aware, what animals we are today. In case you did not happen to see, weren't here for it, Karlene, I believe you said that you were a turtle, tortoise, something in there. Uh, Ryan, how are you feeling today about your animalness?
Feeling good. Feeling like I guess a salmon, because they swim downstream, often in like a rapid, like a fast moving stream, right? And I feel like life is moving very quickly, but I feel like there's a lot of horribleness going on externally, but like I feel like I'm overall, even though everything's moving very quickly, I feel like I'm like actually keeping up on a personal level. So this week I feel like I'm going with the flow in a positive way.
That's interesting, because like salmon, of course, do go downstream and everything. So one of the things about salmon is also that they go upstream perfectly well. So you're on the downstream. You're
Mhm.
going with the water. It's nice.
Yeah, and if I want to rebel and just say go against the flow, I have that ability. I can go upstream. I can fight the power,
Mm-hmm.
So watch out
and I
for
probably will at some point.
bears.
Okay, what's the bear in this metaphor?
Oh, I didn't realize you were using a metaphor.
You thought he was literally a fish?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was just trying to be a fish.
Hmm.
He said he's a salmon. You think this being a cat is a metaphor here?
Right, yeah.
Max, how are you animaling today?
I don't know. I feel totally unmoored, unfocused, and just can't stop focusing on the mass murder that just happened.
Yeah, it is a fairly human thing going on. I will say, like to the extent that like like Otter is not particularly concerned about it. I know often, Max, you are simply Max the human, and not a tortoise or a salmon or a cat, even a dung beetle.
Even otters become desensitized.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the opposite. Like I feel more sensitized now.
Mm. Yeah. It's a. I feel like it's an interesting place to be, um, where the I don't know, there are uh, very intense things that you should be sensitized to and you should be reacting to, because there is a level of horror and violence to them that is uh, beyond what you should be desensitized to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, it's so hard to carry that around all the time. Uh, I don't know. I feel like there's also something like, like tonight we're like one of the things like that I, besides like just knowing that, you know, Karlene, you're just like a great person and great artist and stuff. Like one of the things that I am was so excited about this uh, bringing you on tonight is like the the way that you started talking about the sorts of things that you have been thinking about, which obviously like you you let me like you send these texts like before these sensitizing things happen, um, and so I don't know if maybe your thoughts have shifted at all, like, but I I feel like there is an aspect to like here. I want to read this one thing that you said, um, because I even though it's not directly related, I think that it kind of fits in with what we're talking about. Maybe it's not quite the vessel, but it's the stuff that you put inside it, kind of.
Mhm.
But as insistence grows for societal foundations of compassion rather than materialism, I ask myself, how can I show up more beautiful to wild spaces?
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's hard in times like this when things are so heavy to like say much of significance, but I I think that there is a thread there between like knowing how to function and like be around the people that you love without exploding into anger, or be around the people that really know you well, and who would allow you to just kind of melt down, but you don't want to do that for them. And so it's kind of like showing up to beautiful places, showing up to beautiful people amidst all of the horror. And then, in that writing, it was like the horror of materialism and what that has caused, but also, now in light of this mass shooting number, however many, it's like the horror of violence. How do we show up beautiful anyway? And
Yeah,
there's people always ask, like, what do I do to help, and what can I do to help? And I'm personally like feeling so like hopeless,
mm,
in light of all of this, in a lot of ways, not in like everything. I still want to show up well, and like I went to work today and I was so happy to see my people, my coworkers, and happy to do the work. Not hopeless, like ready to give up, but just hopeless in like what do all my goals even mean
yeah,
in light of all of this? But yeah, I still have to show up for myself, and so I think that that's not I don't know the answers, but I think that like the creative process helps me just kind of meditate on how to do it.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's probably an important part. And I think that our goals don't always have to solve the problems. Sometimes we have to do other stuff. Like, I think we should all be protesting and, like, being really obnoxious.
Well, it's interesting though because I mean, like, I I I don't want to disagree with that, and I don't. Uh, but what's interesting to me about like what Marlene wrote is like how how can I show up more beautiful to wild spaces? And like, I feel like what is occurring, like, is we sort of like need the rewilding of like people entering into the world and not just like sitting at home and doing nothing is like not wild. You know, like that's like a reaction to like stay contained.
That's a really interesting thing. Like, we need to be more wild.
But like it's also
Just
interesting.
being wild and making noise wild.
But like it's interesting. Like I like the how do I come more like enter show up more beautiful um, is like it doesn't. I don't think that necessarily in my mind is like means this idea of being like not protesting or not doing something, but like doing it with this sort of like beautiful intention, like this idea of like I am showing up here because I want a beautiful world. Like, I want a world where things like this do not happen because this is not the beauty that we could be experiencing of like not this.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, like the word beautiful is this big, vague. It's a big word to me. It's kind of it's amorphous. Like it
It's
means
very
so
cool.
many different things to many different people, but
Yeah.
it still evokes. It still evokes kind of like the right thing to do. You know, it's not ugly.
Sorry, can y'all hear that?
Perfect.
It is.
That kind of just summed it all up.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. It's my contribution.
So
Man,
I-
meant little words, the right words.
I think maybe I'm gonna play a short little song.
Good.
Like I don't I don't want to do it as a way of you know, removing ourselves from this, because I feel like we talked about this in another episode of like, or maybe it's just a conversation that you and I had, Max, about like not distracting, but like there are other things that also need to be attended to, sort of.
What do you mean?
So it's a really short little song. It just goes, remember to hydrate wherever you are. Just find a tap water bottle, a clear mountain spring, and let's take a drink.
I love your songs.
Oh, that's really nice of you to say. I hope you have some water with you.
Kinda. I have a Tecate in a mug.
I mean, it's got water in it, I guess.
Yeah, great.
Not exactly a hydrating water, but
No, but
Jesus Christ.
I like the way that your songs are so, like, I want to say imminent. Like they kind of just will show up for the very moment right there. Like, oh, we're going to sing a song about being thirsty. Or not even being thirsty, but like remembering what
hydrate.
your body needs.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in some ways that comes from the I don't know, like that one's kind of its own thing a little bit, but like it's like kind of comes from doing these shows where I want to like activate people, kind of like I want people to like respond by like doing something, like even in their minds, and so I try to write a lot of songs that kind of do that, or like talk about something, that's important to you, or uh, make the coolest sound that you can make, or I don't know, slow down and be a tortoise. I like telling people what to do.
What's important to you is such a big question, because if you're asked that, there's like the surface level stuff, like family. Not that family is surface level, but it's a general answer, and you can get a lot more in depth within the answer of family, or you can think of like what's important to you, to like what fulfills you, which is also a really big question. I don't know where I was going with that. That just came to mind.
I always like asking the question of what's your favorite thing about the world, which kind of gets into like kind of like what kind of excites you, and like what kind of touches you the most about your experience and everything. But it's interesting to talk about like that question of what's important to you. Kind of hits a different thing that I don't think I often necessarily think about, even though it's an important question. We have another friend here. I think maybe to help us delve into this. I don't know. Somebody's here. It's Garbanzo. Hey, Garbanzo.
You're on mute, Garbanzo.
You're on mute, Garbanzo.
How's it going?
Hi.
Hello.
It's going pretty interesting. How are you doing?
There are a lot of artists on right now.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Karlene, I don't think we've met.
I remember you actually. I wasn't sure I wondered who is Garbanzo going to be, and then your face popped up, and we really haven't spent any time together
You
whatsoever.
seem familiar. Are you from Missoula?
Yeah. We didn't have like any classes together. We really didn't cross paths much, but probably just like mutual friends with Hot the Cat and Max, actually.
Oh,
But
it was
anyway.
just some weirdo that was around town.
Hello.
We all were weirdos around town.
This is Missoula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a particular little part of Missoula too.
Yeah. Yeah. So before you jumped on,
about?
we were talking about What's important to you?
Oh. Can I get some other answers that have been cast out there?
But the question has been the only thing that's been cast.
Yeah. We're talking
don't dare.
theoretically.
It's
This is a theoretical question.
like really important.
Oh, what's really important to you?
You know, that's what I took it.
Really important.
Could it be just slightly important? Like kind of important.
I mean, I feel like these are different questions. Like,
Yeah, that's why I was clarifying before answers.
Does anyone have anything that's only slightly important to you?
The weather. Well, day to day, not climate wise.
I was going to say eating delicious food.
Like variety.
It's important. It's important, but like sometimes I understand that not all food is going to be the most delicious food I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly important.
When you phrase it like that, then I'm going to say scratching an itch. It's important to me, but I'll be fine if I can't get to it.
I think that kind of thing could drive me crazy.
So you would say that scratching an itch is more than slightly important for you, Max?
In some situations, yeah.
Depends why you're itching. I think.
Also, I feel like
Oh, you know what? I actually have
where
something that relates to that because usually when I take a shower, I put lotion on, but I also don't really like to because it takes time. But then I didn't one day and I got really itchy around my ankles. Like it was so bad, I knew that I wouldn't be able to sleep. So I put lotion on and have been putting lotion on, even though I don't really want to because I know that might happen.
remember to lotion.
I had something similar happened. I was on break at work and I felt something, so I like scratched my beard and I pulled the tick out of it.
Oh,
That was what-
Hadn't
That's
been
what-
in the woods for like 3 days. And
Wow.
it was this big
Suddenly-
it was the first tick in Oregon that I
Suddenly
found.
gets a lot more important to
You have just rationalized me
Yes.
scratching every itch.
Every
because
single
what
itch.
if there is a tick there? So
I've been paranoid
thank you.
since that. I've been scratching
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that is such a good point. Because it's so true.
Right.
That's the only way I've ever found one, really.
right.
Scratched in.
I don't
Sometimes
think I've ever had a tick since I was a kid.
Ugh,
But you know,
that's great.
also, I heard that maybe the reason is because the easiest way to get a tick is to walk through tall grass. They don't actually really jump from trees that often. And I hate walking through grass in the woods. I never really knew that you could get ticks from it, but I don't like doing it, so I don't.
You don't like those itchy ankles, so why would you walk through the grass?
Yeah, and I don't like being touched by plants in that way.
So that's interesting. So there's like a non-consensual touching of
Yeah.
by the plant.
Yeah, but plants don't really know anything about it.
Practice social distancing
I
plants.
mean, I don't know what plants know.
I don't think they know.
I don't know what plants know.
I think that's a good, yeah. How can we know? I feel like they would be cool with most things.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Their
But
whole purpose is to adapt. It
yeah,
seems. Adapt and grow.
They'd probably love your "Remember to Hydrate" song.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to sing it to some
It's
plants.
kind of like their whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mention the sun.
Well, but it's interesting because I don't know that
Good point,
Like,
Max.
because part of the song is go find a tap water bottle or clear mountain spring, those plants aren't really going to get those things. They're just
Maybe
kind of
there's
waiting.
Yeah.
maybe they're singing that to you as your houseplant. Remember to hydrate me.
That's what
It
my
just
house
started
plans
raining
tell
here.
me.
It's funny.
It just rained. It's raining now.
It started like like 30 seconds ago, but then you said that, and it was really
I
funny.
envy you. It hasn't rained here since like December or something.
Do you want to see the rain? I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the rain fall down.
You can't see the rain.
I can find
Don't give up so fast.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you'd be able to. There's no way.
Remember
Yeah.
to rain.
I was a little bit too fast.
I think I can see a shiny street.
Did you ever see the rain?
It looks like
Oh, you beat me to it. Damn it.
Speaking of rain, I think I'm going to go make it rain in a very specific place in my house. I'll be right back.
Oh no.
with money.
I wasn't
like
sure if that was
the
allowed.
circles that spin. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Why would he do that in his kitchen?
Fun. Maybe it's really enjoyable.
I thought he was gonna make it rain by like giving us all dollar bills.
Yeah, it's like
Like-
pay time.
That's what it should have been.
Give me money.
Is there a subject for today's episode?
The subject is Karlene.
Yeah,
Well,
Karlene's
it's not
art.
me, but
Karlene, can
Wait.
I see some of your art? Or hear your art? Or like, where can
sure.
I find your art?
Well, we were looking at some of the ceramic pots that I've been making. I'll show you. I'll do a quick. Oh, you can't see it.
No.
When Hot
That
comes
was-
back, he can pull up your page.
Yeah, I can't share anything, but we were just talking about some things that have been in my head and some of the work and where it's come from, and a lot of it, I mean, it's all pretty centered around plants. Being ceramic work, it lends very well to being in vessels, and so I've been building pretty big and small vessels to hold plants and designs, floral designs, and integrate into gardens. I hadn't yet started talking about that, but my next thing coming up is a cool integration project into this really big garden named Federal Twist, which is a garden in New Jersey, designed
Where in
by
New Jersey?
Stockton.
I know Stockton. I grew up in southern New Jersey.
Oh, very cool.
My dad went to Stockton College for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe, are you familiar with the road named Federal Twist?
No.
That's what the garden is named after. And so yeah, it's kind of a mysterious name.
It's a good one. It could
Yes.
be a name.
I
could
love
see
that name.
you using that as a pseudonym somehow.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Twist.
designer of the garden does. I think his Instagram handle is I am Federal Twist. And he's a very cool guy.
I wonder if
Chill.
they call him Fetty. Like, or
Fed word.
the Fed word. Fed word. I wonder if that's a name that they use.
Fedward.
It's spelled with a PH though.
I
It
like
looks
it.
like you have some paintings and stuff behind you, though, too, Garbanzo. Are you in your studio?
It's my room. Where are you?
My living room.
Nice.
Got a shelf and my garbage right here.
Oh
She's
yeah,
sleeping.
let's get a
Oh,
nice close up on Madge here.
oh, that's an ear.
Wow.
Madge, I'm so happy
Oh
to
my
see you.
god. What a
I-
soft
She's.
puppy.
I've missed you.
Oh, Webby.
Madge,
There
you're
we go. That's better.
you're so great, Madge. What a good dog.
Madge she's really living her best life here at Bark Mill Pond in West Stockbridge, Massachusetts.
How old is she?
12.
Mm.
Wow.
One time I took Madge out on a walk in the mountains and got lost. And it was really silly, but she was so nice about it.
I'm sure
I
she
don't think she probably knew you.
preferred that. Yeah.
Well, I think she did know that something was weird because we ended up having to walk down a long mountain road to get back to the car.
I bet Madge would remember you. You were Madge goes through phases of her favorite people based on who I'm spending a lot of time with, and you were certainly one.
Yeah, Madge was a good friend at a certain time in my life.
She's good at that.
Yeah.
The one and only time that I've lost her was one morning before class, and I skipped class, went to go find her, and she had tried to get on the school bus with the kids that morning. I let her out, and she went to the bus stop and tried to get on the bus.
That's cute.
It is cute.
So I know I missed some of your conversation, um, but I heard you talking a little bit about kind of some of the work that you've been doing, Karlene, and some of the thoughts that you had maybe written down. I was wondering if maybe you wanted to read a section at least of what you wrote, what you sent me.
Sure. Do you have anything in mind?
Um, I don't know. I guess if there's one that stands out to you, um,
Sure. Maybe I'll read about codependency.
cool. I like that one.
This is it's like an anecdote about my good friend Claire, who I met. She was a ceramic artist too. And she'd be a good animal in the circle. She's a nice weirdo too.
Readers are always
Um,
welcome.
let's see here. So earlier on we were talking about rewilding and how it's a necessary and it's a process that we're needing, I think. And then we kind of talked about what wild was and what rewilding means right now with so much horror and like heaviness going on. And so I'd like the work to both celebrate the immense beauty of ourselves as part of the natural world, but also to sort of hold our hands as we engage in the learning process of rewilding. I recently spoke with my dear friend Claire, and she remarked on the codependency in its role in the creative process within a community. She was talking about someone's piece, like a mattress or something, and one of the materials listed was codependency. We talked about the truth in that, how when engaging in a community, there is great codependency. She mentioned how she used to borrow a kiln from someone who lived about a mile away from her house, and she didn't have a car. She laughed a bit, telling me about how the man who owned the kiln would often not return her messages. So when she was able to load the kiln, she would have to load up a wagon and pull her load of pots to the basement in this man's house to fire the work. it just makes me think about how, as creative, natural beings, as makers, we will experience great amounts of codependency to see the work through. I think we're brought up to think that we can do anything and that we are independent creatures, but that just isn't the truth. We are dependent, community creatures of love, and in our greatest task of survival, we depend on the earth and are greatly entwined in a codependence with it. Claire's experience pulling her pots in a wagon to the basement of a man whom she had a confusing acquaintanceship with is just a small microcosm or example of what we as human beings encounter with the natural world every day.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that really got me.
I just like the idea of everyone, people helping others create, whether it's literally through like the use of a kiln or something like that, or just from accountability or inspiration.
One of
It's a
Claire
nice thought.
Melly's pieces is right over Hot's shoulder there.
Oh, nice.
A different Claire.
Different Claire.
Maybe, I don't know.
It is a different Claire. I do remember Claire Melly too.
That was a really powerful piece. It was great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I really like the song that I wrote and everything. Like I was especially kind of I like the word entwined in this context. But I like how you say like we like to think of ourselves as like independent and everything, but it just isn't true. Like we, as much as we might imagine that we are separated into like distinguishable like thing, like we are connected.
We are.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it's funny that it doesn't it doesn't always play out in like fun or convenient or pleasurable or peaceful ways. Like the person that she was depending on was a little flaky and kind of odd, but but yet it was still codependency nonetheless.
Hmm. Yeah, I really like that phrase, confusing acquaintanceship.
Yeah.
What was that? Can you say that again?
I like
Con-
that phrase, confusing acquaintanceship, because I think you're right. Like I I feel like there's this idea often of like when you say like everything's connected, it's just like, oh yeah, that means like it's all love and like we're all like just part of this same beautiful thing. But like it's confusing. It's not
yeah,
it's not that smooth.
that's right. It's like walking through grass in shorts, right, Max? Or like I got poison ivy I was mentioning early on. For the first time
That's
I
another
like
reason
actually
not. I don't like.
yeah, it was my first time really reacting to it. And I was having such a good time doing what I was doing. And I don't know, I was being a little careless because there are ticks around here. And I was, wearing my Crocs and shorts, loving it.
Wow.
But I know. So I had kind of confusing. It's confusing, right? To like have a wonderful time, but also and love my surroundings so much, but then have me break out in this really uncomfortable rash. It's
When did it
confusing.
happen? Like when you were already done, or like back
It was the
home?
day. It was the day after at work.
Ooh.
It just started like developing, growing, spreading
Wow.
all over.
I'm surprised it took so long. I've actually never had poison ivy.
I always thought it was kind of an overreaction of others, but
Really?
like
Never had what?
because I never really, yeah, I don't know. I think, but I have heard that it gets worse the more you're exposed to it. So like
I've heard
each
that.
time may get worse.
Or
So.
just that you can develop an allergy to it at any time, even if you weren't allergic to it before.
That's interesting. I never heard that.
Yep,
I
it's
like
true.
the feeling of plants touching me.
What about poison ivy?
I mean,
It's
it probably
hard.
feels good in the moment. It's the after.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Really sucks.
Yeah.
It's probably still a good tickle. Or something.
Yeah, in the moment, it's nice.
The thing to get poison ivy off of you is like anything that can really cut through oil, because it's an oily substance.
Right, like
If you
Dawn.
ever-
Dawn, yeah.
Yeah. Or that stuff that they have in metal shops that's like gritty and
Oh yeah, like the orange
That
gritty.
citrus thing, yeah.
yeah, what's it called? Hot orange? What?
I don't know. That's just the color. I don't know what it's called.
It's
I
called
think
orange?
it's like called orange something.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I think so too.
Orange aid.
Somehow I don't think it's orange.
Orange juice.
I
I
don't
was
think it's that
told
either.
to have access to some of Karlene's images of her work. And I would,
Yeah, I'll here.
Yeah.
I can put it up on a banner.
A banner?
But yeah, we already looked through all the pieces. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
we're not gonna go through
You
them.
said that was the topic of the episode. So.
Yeah, that's why we looked at it.
Oh, okay. I'll look on the phone. Not the whole.
Yeah, I mean, we could look at them again. They were lovely.
Don't
but
worry about it. I'll do it independently if you've already.
There's just an aspect of we've walked down that path already. So
We can't
Was it-
walk down it again.
You are a cat after all.
I mean, I guess like I am willing, because you never
I'm looking at it already.
you never go through the
No, it
same.
says the site cannot be reached. I missed it.
It's like you never go through the same river twice. Like not only because the river has moved, but also that you're a different person. So maybe like in the past 45 minutes, we are all different people. And
Something happened. I agree. I had an experience recently like that. It was
in the last 45 minutes,
not in the last 45 minutes, but it was like an hour and a half experience. That was
What was it?
Will you describe it?
yeah. It was
It's
a concert.
double 45 minutes.
It was a concert I went to on Tuesday night that was unlike any other concert I've ever been to the point that I feel like everybody that was there might have had something shift for them. It was a powerful concert. Yeah.
in what way was it different?
It was like an immersive experience. Like I went there because my boss's wife's band was playing, and she's like a fucking rock star, and I didn't know it.
What's
Like
her name?
amazing. The band is called the Prids.
The what?
The Prids, Prids, and they're like from Oregon, and they were opening for this band, and they were insane. Like I didn't know what
What
to
band were
expect.
they opening for?
A Place to Bury Strangers.
I've heard of that.
That sounds familiar.
They were so good though. Like I didn't know that they were really loud, and my boss was like, did you bring earplugs? And I was like, no, I don't know. You should buy some at the merch table. And I was like, oh shit, if they're selling them, then we need something. So put them in, and they're really loud. And at first I thought it was like obnoxious, but then I realized it's like you're feeling it. Like it gets into all of, like, oh, it was a powerful experience. And they used like strobe lights and like all kinds of crazy shit, and they came out into the audience. It was wild. I'm not doing it justice in my poor description of it.
I mean, how could you?
But I
Really?
think that everybody left like changed. Like I think that a short amount of time with the right kind of attention can really change them.
That's true.
They have a Wikipedia. They're a real band.
Yeah. Unlike us, apparently. Thanks.
I understand more about myself than you had expect to make sure they were real.
He's not making this up, guys.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't a vision or a hallucination.
Man, what a vision that would be, though.
Yeah,
To have like a full immersive concert.
yeah, and a specific enough name like the Prids.
Yeah. Although that does sound like something that you would come up with in a dream, and I would be like, I can't use that. But in a dream, it sounds amazing. And you're like, that's the perfect name, and then you wake up and it's like Blurp or something.
Would be a good band name. I think.
You should name your band Blurp.
LURP or WLURP, since we're going.
It's GLP.
Glurp.
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 Glurp? WL?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I know too many words that have WL.
Glurp.
What brought you from Missoula to Massachusetts, I think you said?
Yeah. Well, first we came out to Rochester, New York, because I got a ceramics residency at Flower City Arts Center there. And then we moved to West Stockbridge, Massachusetts, which is where my partner Chris is from. And his parents live in this very old house, and he is helping to like finish the house, and we're planting gardens and set up a studio here. So we've kind of landed in this very, very peaceful place. We're lucky.
Garbanzo, what have you been working on?
Oh, a lot of I work in school, but I've been painting when I can. The graphic design stuff is annoying, but I think it's going to really pay off. It's kind of influenced how I've been doing my art, studying graphic design.
It's great.
I saw you had posted a piece of art recently that you I don't know if it was a in process piece or like a
Which one
that you had finished. Let me see.
I don't remember. I don't remember. There are a lot around here. This is an old one that I really enjoy.
Let's get.
It's small, but it's a fire.
I like it.
It's the back is really cool too. Like they're weird on all, but I like the front. The sides are cool.
Yeah. Style. Nice. It has like a belly
like all
to
of
it.
They're more like sculptures you put on the wall, I guess.
Yeah.
What one did I put online?
Here, I'm gonna bring it up.
I did that last night. I kind of started to put in the color on it.
Nice.
It's got a lot to go. It's my divorce painting that I'm working on.
It went.
What made you decide to work on it now?
There's a lot to go on the painting. That's the first 2 layers, and they usually get a lot more than that. So,
What made you decide to work on it now?
I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, the self-portrait.
Yeah, this was very interesting. Like,
Is that fabric?
What?
Is that fabric?
No. It's collagen paint.
Oh,
There's a bit of an octopus, a bit of a whale, some ocean, and part of a magic eye poster. And paint and white metallic paint.
So what?
Love it.
You know, how is this a self-portrait?
That's how I feel.
How is it not?
That's how I felt at the moment, I guess you would say.
But in what way?
I don't want to go further in. That's for you.
That's interesting. So it's kind of like an internal self-portrait rather than an external self-portrait.
I mean, so many paintings are like that so many people make.
Right.
But I everybody here is an artist, and they all put it into their art, right? I mean, isn't that what you do?
I think it looked really delicious. Like it looked like you could just take your finger in it.
I wouldn't suggest it based on the materials. You might get really sick. Or you might feel fine and just have plastic in your body forever.
Don't we
all have plastic in
already?
our body.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've absorbed so much, acrylic and oil. Okay.
When I was studying printmaking, I heard that people who spend their lives printmaking always die really young.
Yeah, one of my favorite professors, his dad died from that. When I was at SVA, like I kept open containers of it in my tiny prison cell sized dorm and just didn't wash my hands and went to sleep with it. So let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, that's probably not good.
But
I mean, you didn't do it your whole life, so
some solid time.
I could definitely be more safe about the clay dust around my house.
Breathing in it, but touching it like clay is like I put it on my face sometimes. It, like
True.
sucks out toxins, and you just have to breathe it in.
Yeah, it's just the dust, and the most dangerous particles are invisible. So that's always reassuring.
Like all the CO2 that we're bringing into the atmosphere. Yeah.
And ticks.
Which are
Honestly, they're like the size of poppy seeds.
there's the small ones are the ones you got to worry about.
yeah, deer
It's
tick.
really bad.
The ones with the white dots. I got freaked out after finding that one that I ripped off in the middle of the night. I thought I felt an itch, and I had ripped off birthmarks from my back.
Oh no!
I was so scared. I just reached up and oh, what happened? Yeah, it wasn't great. But it freaks you out when you know that something could be crawling on you. Ooh.
Digging in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Digging in.
Burrowing and giving you diseases at the same time that it's eating.
It's very weird. And it's like their spit. That's their spit, obviously, that spreads the limes, but they are more likely to spit or like release all of their slobber as you're like pulling them out. So I'm always like try to be as gentle and cautious and like cool, to get them out very carefully so they're not worried. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, no, it's good to do that. If
I would
you-
like to think I would react that way, but I'd probably freak the fuck out.
If you put Vaseline over them, they'll die
Oh,
sometimes. Like if you cut off the oxygen, but it's best to pick them off if you
just get him
can.
out.
Yeah, because they can get their mouth parts stuck, and then you can get an infection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so,
So
you
you
want to flip them over. You like get a
I got
knife,
so many of them as a
knife
kid.
or something under it, and you flip it over and kind of lift it out that way. It helps the mouth not get stuck.
Like you pop it out. Like
Right, like a hook. Good tips, everyone.
Tick,
Tick,
tick.
Tips.
I'm surprised that getting ticks is as common as it is.
so many people I know from southern New Jersey have Lyme's disease. So when you go there, be very careful.
His garden is like all tall grasses.
You
So
just gotta check yourself every day, and you're fine.
I check constantly, like all day long.
Yeah, if you pull it out in time, you're you're good.
You're good. Yeah.
But if you do have one that stayed there a while, keep it in alcohol to preserve it, and then bring it with you to the doctor and draw a ring around where the tick bite was to see how it grew.
Okay. That's good advice too.
I'm sorry for
Great advice.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd pick up on that need of writing a tick tip song.
Yeah, well, I couldn't come up with any other lyrics to it.
got tick tips, get them off of you.
Oh, so good.
Don't walk through tall grass.
When you walk through,
Get 'em all for you. Tick tips. Don't walk through the tall grass.
Wear long pants.
Wear long pants. Yeah, it's just writing itself, really. This is great.
That's
I mean,
a
it's
song.
a song about tick tips, so all you have to do is add tips about ticks to it. It's pretty.
I would gladly do some.
It's a good point, Max.
Yeah, you just list them.
Get 'em all you. Tick tips. Don't walk through the tall grass. Wear long pants. Tick tips.
High
Get 'em all for
socks.
you.
You can have a verse about where you can find them on you, like places that you don't normally check.
Oh, yeah,
Between
yeah.
your
Even
toes.
armpit can rhyme with tick tip.
My
Okay.
English teacher in high school got one under his balls and almost died from
Why?
bugliosa.
How do you
You got
almost die from
Ball
that?
tick.
It was called bugliosa, I think. They read him his last rites and stuff. Like he really almost died
Wow.
That's so horrible.
from a tick.
Tall grass. Wear long pants. Tick tips.
I've heard of a Baltic nation, but this is a completely different kind of Baltic.
You typed him. What did you find?
No, I was just saying.
Heard of ticks?
There's one on your lip.
I don't know. Like, I don't let a tick get on your lip.
You could replace it with nip, easy.
Oh,
You don't want one there either, but
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
hip.
no,
Mm.
tick nip.
Nip tick.
Picnic, like when you're on
A spin off of Nip Tuck. Nip tick.
Nip tick. All right.
Hashtag tip tips.
Tick tips. Well, now we're prepared in case it comes up again.
Has is it Madge?
Mm-hmm.
You ever found ticks on Madge?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's been kind of hard with Madge because now she has to have that next guard, Paragard. We've been going through different tick medications and we're a bit skeptical on how they're making her feel.
Hmm.
She when we were in Rochester, she was like, if doggies had a deathbed, she was on it.
Oh my
But
god.
then
No.
when we got here and we found like a great vet and he saved her life, found the perfect medication and everything.
What
And
was
and she developed a autoimmune, like a lupus, like a doggy lupus. And so things flare up all the time and she was having a hard time breathing, but like in the wintertime we take her off of the tick stuff and she seems to feel much better.
maybe
But
she has
what
the opposite of seasonal affective disorder.
she just loves winter so much. She does love winter. But I don't know. What's the alternative? Having her get limes and bring a bunch of ticks into the house? It's not good either. So
Hot, have you ever found ticks on yourself or the other cat in your life, Otter?
Never on the other cat.
Does Otter ever actually go outside?
Only on a leash.
But you live with 2 cats, right?
I do live with 2 cats. And I have found ticks on the other cat besides Otter.
Oh, Karlene, what animal are you?
I said a turtle. Weird. I was just debating about turtle tortoise, but I think like I feel like they kind of have heavy eyelids. And when we first hopped on, I was kind of feeling that particular way.
Would you say you're feeling differently now?
Yeah, I feel like I am a new person. Like when you
New animal.
walk into a river and then can't walk back into the same river type of thing.
What animal would you say you are now if you're not a droopy-eyed tortoise?
Wide-eyed tortoise.
Yeah, like a wide-eyed turtle.
Wide-eyed turtle, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling a little more just a little more open. I'm definitely feeling lighter.
So maybe you would like at first you were like kind of a little in your shell, and now you kind of stuck your head out a little.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a song about tortoises.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, I'll try to remember how to play it. Let's be tortoises, slow and steady. Step by careful step toward our goal. Carrying our homes. Who needs more than this? Let's be tortoises. Ready, set, let's go. And I feel as
Well done.
what happens when I play that song is now we are tortoises.
I like how in Finding Nemo they made the tortoise like stonery with the droopy eyelids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
The only problem with that is that anatomically, tortoises can't smoke.
I feel like octopuses would be the ones that would.
I think that it's more like a surfer dude. Which,
Yeah,
like, corresponds
probably right.
a lot to the.
Well, unfortunately, they can't surf either.
But they can.
Wow, you must be really fun at parties.
No.
You've been to parties with me. You know how fun I am.
They can surf on the what do they call that thing in there?
The ocean.
Shell.
The wave that what was it? The something C IOC or something. Right?
International Olympic
current.
Committee.
Yeah,
The
I
international
almost
wave
said
body?
AOC too.
Uh,
It's something current, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
current.
It's like the
Ride the wave, dude.
just go with the flow, bro.
Hey, Hod, can we get another shot of Otter real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Otter better not move from that spot.
Can make it bigger if you want.
I always like to imagine there's a giant storm going.
Hi,
Ouch.
sweetie.
Oh no.
We have an Otter Time introduction now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you'd seen that last time.
No, I didn't. I haven't been here on like reasonably on time.
That is good.
Kudos on the Otter Time introduction.
Thanks. I wish it was less choppy on Twitch, on StreamYard, but
Oh, I missed it. I'll have to see it next time.
oh, you missed it?
Yeah, I was getting some water.
Oh man, you were hydrating.
We can probably play it again, right?
Probably
You
play
know-
it again.
You know the rules.
You-
You
I think
can't.
we could probably play it again.
Oh, I remember the music now that I think of it.
Yeah, you commented on the
Let's
music.
try one more time.
Why does it freeze?
There we go.
Very nice.
Yes.
What software did you use to make it?
Microsoft Word. No.
Wow,
Did it
I
on
would-
Excel.
I would be so impressed if you used Microsoft Word. to
No,
make
that's a
that.
PDF.
Now
Yeah.
that's a PDF.
Quite a PDF.
Premiere. Adobe Premiere.
Maybe in the future we could get a little bumper for now. That's a PDF.
Yeah.
I like that phrase.
Yeah. Mhm.
I can see a whole thing. Now that's the PDF.
Yeah, just a quick little zinger.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
You know, it can
Get
be
to work
used
right
in
on
so
that.
many situations too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be worried about overusing it
Right.
throughout the show.
Yeah.
But you couldn't. It wouldn't be possible. So
Yeah, we haven't introduced drops to this show or sound effects or anything like that.
Mhm. We're figuring it out.
Wah, wah.
It's Otter Time.
It's Otter Time.
It's Otter Time.
So what would you say has been the highlight of
Musical
Otter's Day
guest.
today?
Probably laying around.
No. I would say the highlight of Otter's Day was when we opened the kitchen door, and then a bird landed on the porch outside and started making a lot of noise, and she got to check it out outside. Did you just play a bird sound effect?
No.
No.
There's some outside of my window at the moment.
Well, it really who needs to add sound effects when the world provides them?
Mhm.
Do any of you have a favorite bird call or favorite bird?
Mock.
No, but I have one that really like. sticks
What,
out.
Garbanzo?
Mockingbirds are fun.
Yeah, they go ma.
Sounded like you just said muck.
I
That's
was
what
hoping
mockingbirds
somebody would say,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mockingbird.
Mock, mock.
Oh yeah, those birds that just say mock,
What if
mock.
you just sing that song but just say mock over and over again? And like mock instead of yeah.
Mhm.
I am pretty partial to the mourning doves.
What do they
Oh,
sound?
those are nice.
What do they
Can you
sound?
do an impression of one? Can you
Uh,
try?
No.
It's like
I'm glad.
there's a bird that really sticks out to me, and it at first when I was younger it really annoyed me, but I can't really remember it off the top of my head now, and I don't know what kind of bird it is.
I also really like the sounds of red-winged blackbirds, but they're not exactly songs.
I
What
love
sounds
them
do they
too.
make?
It would be impossible.
They go.
Oh, the laser birds.
It sounds like swirls.
Oh,
Like
It sounds really weird.
I don't know if I've ever heard one, but when I was a kid, we would always point out red-winged blackbirds when we saw them. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
this is nice.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the bird that annoyed me.
Oh God, that's comforting.
Maybe
Oh my
that's the bird
goodness.
that
I think it is like the,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
If you got to select a tract where you were like lethally executed, that I would like that being.
I would pick the world's longest song.
No.
What kind of bird is that?
What's happening?
Yeah, what is that bird?
I really like that bird's purple shoes.
The bird's like, get away from my rocks.
I like how the related videos are all birds and Mike Myers on the incredible comedic chemistry. He and
Right.
I like
That was
listening
a
to
weird magic trick.
that forest bird song, relaxing nature sounds. I like listening to those kinds of videos when I'm working.
So I got a red-winged blackbird keyed up here.
A red-winged black.
Bird.
I was writing a song about that when I was living in Missoula. That bird.
Oh, that's what they sound like? Oh, I've heard that before, yeah.
That's so nice.
It's funny.
Conklary.
Conklary, like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't sound
I know, there's no way. It sounds like a signal, like a radio signal.
Mhm.
There
That's
We
really
have-
Conklary, guys.
Yeah.
I would like
Conklary.
overdub Conklary on the bird.
Yeah. Conklary.
Conklary.
Oh, Paris.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it, but he just can't manage.
Ooh, was that one of you?
That was a good interlude. Their song structure is incredible.
they're so neat. Look
They're
at them.
communicating. They're
They're
a complex
beautiful.
language.
Conklily.
That's kind of
For
like
the
a
longest,
conch.
I always used to think that my favorite bird song was the red-winged blackbird because that is so like otherworldly. But the veery bird, they have one that is similar in
Let's hear that one.
What is that one?
veery, like Veery, I think.
I've never heard of that bird.
Veery thrush, yeah.
We
Bird
learned
names are
so
crazy.
much on the hot show here.
None of us said we were a bird.
Have we had many birds?
I wonder.
Birds aren't real.
Oh yeah, here it comes.
So who made all these videos for me, Ryan?
The government.
Oh, that does.
Whoa!
Mm. Sounds like a ringtone.
Yeah, it sounds.
I was thinking like Pink Floyd guitar pedal type deal. Something that...
It would be cool to make.
Oh, that's cool. It did like a higher version and then did the same.
I think a lot of birds
Same
have
pattern,
two
lower.
voice boxes or two like
Talk
where
box.
they can make things.
Some people can do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. I love
That's
the
very
throat
cool.
singing. Just gotta look into throat singing.
There was one time I went to a Qdoba, and
Great start to any story.
and
You don't even have to say the rest of the story. It's already.
And
No,
it ended
it-
in diarrhea.
That's
Yeah.
enough. I think you're thinking about Taco Bell. Taco Bell should just name
Hey.
themselves delayed diarrhea. And they should market themselves specifically to people who have to have a colonoscopy.
So
you
hot.
went to a
You were saying?
Qdoba.
so I went to Qdoba, and the person that was working behind the counter, I was looking at them, and they pursed their lips, and I heard a bird sound, and it was such a convincing sound that I thought there was a bird in the place, but he was just making the sound of a bird sound, and it was so good that even seeing him do it, I was not able to think that he was doing it.
That's
It was
pretty cool.
It was really crazy.
Did
Like
you comment on
Michael
it?
Winslow.
What?
Did you comment on it?
I did, and he said that he that's just like a hobby of his.
That's cool.
Is that you, Garbanzo?
I'm sorry, I was cracking my back.
We thought you fell and couldn't get back up.
Oh no, I was cracking my back. Felt very good. Do y'all crack your backs regularly?
Not
No.
as regularly as I should.
I don't think I need to.
I feel so good. I do it many times a day.
You know what I've been working on? Trying to yawn more. My jaw gets really, really tight, and I have giant knots. But I find that if I yawn on purpose several times, it really is relaxing.
Does it help your ears?
I mean, I've noticed sometimes some stuff going on in there, but not usually from yawning. More from doing this.
Sometimes you could force a yawn and get a real yawn out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you keep doing it,
They're easily convinced.
and I find that is something that I need to do before bed. Otherwise, I don't really.
Do you have TMJ at all?
I do, yeah. I have a lot of crazy stuff going on in that area. Yeah, like I'm really yawning now.
Somebody's here. It's Luda.
Oh, Luda, I haven't seen you for a long time.
Luda!
And we still don't
I'm
see
still
you.
not seeing you.
Luda, are
It's
you
so
here?
good to not see you, but know that you're
So
there.
good to see your screen, Luda.
So good to see you.
It's so
again.
good to see the idea, the potential of
The
seeing
idea of Luda being there.
you. Even just the idea of just Luda conceptually. And I hope she can hear all of this.
I hope so too.
Slowly coming on.
Luda? Luda texted me saying she has a pretty bad connection right now. So this may not work, but conceptually, it's great.
Well, her presence is.
Yeah, your presence.
We've set a
is
place at the table for when Luda arrives.
Oh,
Oh, somebody's gone. It's
There
Luda.
she goes.
Can you hear like this back crack? Like, did you hear it?
No.
Get a
It's-
microphone on that next time.
It feels, yeah. If you get the chance, this is my advertisement for the week. Get one of these. It's a chirp wheel, and it massages the muscles around your spine,
Wow.
which is a little different than a foam roller, and it feels splendid. Can't suggest one enough.
nice.
Luda texted me saying that she misses us. Tell the gang that she says hi, and she's in the Ozarks and is a catfish today.
Ooh.
Good to hear
Oh,
she's doing.
Luda, I said hi, and that.
Tell it yourself.
I can't.
You probably could just as well as I can.
How?
I mean, I'm just texting.
Are you just texting, like, typing in notes and saying you're talking to Luda?
Yeah. Just like.
Does anyone else want to say it? Right now, I just am saying that Max says hi.
Yeah, I say hi.
I say hi.
I would
Well,
say hi.
I say
if
hi.
you-
We can all say hi and like, Luda, we wish you could make it.
All right.
It'd
But
be
we
fun.
understand that you can't.
Yeah, we understand that you can. There's a lot going on in the world.
She eating the catfish?
No,
She is a.
is a catfish.
Oh,
And she's
Oh,
I said she
I
caught a catfish.
misunderstood.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I didn't
It's
speak
okay,
clearly.
like that. She
Clearly.
I haven't had catfish in a little bit. What's the
Yeah.
last fish that each of you have eaten?
I have like I
Like
have
full
Fish today?
tilapia from Aldi. They have frozen fish that
What kind of fish?
I think it's tilapia. I don't know.
Tilapia.
It's not like the best fish
Hold up.
apparently, but eating fish is better than eating meat. That's not fish.
Just have to
I
watch
think-
out for toxins.
I think salmon was my last one. Sorry.
Why are
It's
you
okay.
sorry for
We're
eating
delicious.
salmon?
Because I'm a salmon today.
You're a salmon.
I forgot about
That's who Fred Melaman's biggest fan is?
Yeah.
It's a salmon.
Particularly
Fred
because he's going with the flow, not even because
Mhm.
he's going against the flow.
That's
was an
similar to
interesting
salmon
note.
instincts, but it will prevent you from dying. I read that salmon, by the time they're done swimming upstream, are so physically damaged that they die almost immediately after spawning.
Wow. I wonder what makes them want to swim upstream.
The same reason humans have children, despite all of the completely absurd reasons not to.
So, do you think that salmon are really good at rationalizing?
They don't have to,
Okay.
but it's the same thing. But their brains don't require rationalizing like human brains do.
That we think.
I guess.
We don't know what salmon know.
Yeah,
True, but
true.
Does the salmon community have like a Malcolm Gladwell that like is like a sociological thinker?
He's like
yeah,
10,000.
that's a really good point. Like, if
What would he be
10,000 hours of swimming upstream.
Swimming, yeah.
I
Is
think
it-
that
Then you
really
got-
brings up a very interesting point, because if salmon did think about things like that, then they would have people who are thinkers, like salmon, who went against the grain, but they don't. So that's a proof that garbanzo is wrong. Probably.
Wait,
Wait,
what
how
were
do
you
we
wrong
know?
about?
There's
Wait.
a very roundabout way of
I
proving
think
garbanzo
I look
wrong.
at it like salmon are like, maybe there's a bunch of them that just decided to give up on life. And they're like, no, I'm not going to swim against the stream anymore. I've had enough.
Mm.
All right, I'm going to jump directly into this bear's mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I would
I'm going
say,
to aim for that paw.
how would we know whether or not there are thinkers? Like they can't write it down. They could be thinking
Good
it.
try.
They could be, but I don't think we should think things are happening without any evidence for that,
I agree, Max.
because anything could happen.
Did you know that trout swim up waterfalls? That's pretty cool.
Maybe I'm thinking of trout. I'm thinking of an animal that swims off stream or something to go spawn, and then they don't eat, and they end up really physically falling apart. Basically.
I think that's true about a lot of things. Like plants are that way too. A lot of plants actually go to flower because they're stressed and they're right at the end of their life instead of being
Hmm.
happy.
Hmm.
Most of us,
I
I
thought-
always used to think they flower when they're happy, but it's actually that most of them are at the end of their life. So they go to reproduction mode.
I thought that going to flower made them go to the end of their life. It's interesting that it's actually that they were at the end of their life, so they went to flower.
Yeah, it's in.
I'm looking at my Ruellia, which is trying to flower.
You're what?
It's Ruellia. It's can't really move my computer. It won't be easy to see, but
Can we have Ruellia time?
it's
Hot, write a song right now. Through Elliot.
there it is in
time.
the window there.
I don't want to
Pretty
have
hard to see.
monopoly on it.
It is. Can you shine a light on it?
Is that any better?
I just saw the computer move in the window,
Well, yeah, it's the best it's gonna get.
which is really kind of interesting.
What kind of
It's I don't know. I got caught up in thinking of trying to figure out how to make a joke about like Malcolm Ruellia, but it wasn't good enough. I kept trying to figure out a way to make it work.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have a Lovers Show poster behind you.
Yeah,
Oh man, I was at that show. Like Claire and
you
I
were in that show too.
Yeah,
See, we did
Oh,
cross
no.
paths.
that's.
Yeah, Chris and I were also in that show. What was your piece?
It was a diamond painting that was really wild.
Oh, nice. That's nice. We had I made a big ceramic like orb, and then Chris installed little amps and exciters inside of it.
I
And then
remember that.
he made a loop, like a sound loop on it, and then you could feel it vibrate if you touched it. It's now outside under our maple tree. It lived in the back of the truck for about 2.5, 3 years. It was cool.
I am familiar with carting around art that is very big and cumbersome.
Yeah, just lives
And
where
it's
it
just like,
lives.
I'm not gonna like get rid of this child. I'm just gonna have to carry it around with me for a little while.
Folks, I think I gotta jump off,
Yeah.
but it's been a real honor and a pleasure.
It has been.
So much good things your way.
Appreciate that, Garbanzo.
Thanks so much for being here. It's always a real pleasure.
It's been quite enjoyable.
Who is Fred Melamed?
So he's an actor who has been in like some serious stuff. Actually, A Serious Man, the
That's a great
Coen
one.
brothers.
Who did he play?
movie. He played Cy Abelman.
Okay, cool. That's enough. I know who he is. I know exactly who it is.
But he pops up in a lot of comedy stuff, like
He's
the Maria Bamford Show, Lady Dynamite.
I love that
and
show.
great
Oh.
underrated show, and like Children's Hospital and Medical Police. And,
he was in Barry.
yeah,
I
Barry.
know
Just
who he
he
is now.
just
Yeah.
kills it in everything, and like
He's
I've always liked him, but I was
He was
watching the
great as
newest.
Cy Abelman. Oh my god.
I was watching the newest Barry, and I realized, like, wow, I love him whenever he pops up.
He's pretty
He was
fantastic.
really good in Lady
All right, I'm sorry. I know you gotta go. I just was curious.
No, we're always happy to talk about my love for Big Fred. All right, toodles.
Great to meet you.
He's gone.
And there it goes.
Well. Welly, welly, well. Roo, well, yeah. I don't know. How are you all feeling?
I feel like I could probably hit the hay pretty soon.
Max?
I'm tired.
You know, I'm sensing a theme.
I've got a whole bunch to do.
Well, maybe we should call it a night. Thanks so much to you all for being here. Thanks so much to anyone who made it to this point of watching. How did you get here?
How did you get here? What is happening? Reach out. Contact us.
Yeah, hotthecat@gmail.com. Reach out. Love to hear from you. How's it going? What animal are you? Yeah, thanks so much, Karlene. This was such a pleasure.
I had a great time.
Nice to see you.
It was so good to see you. A wonderful reunion. Thank
Yeah.
you for inviting me.
When do you think the last time that we saw each other was? Probably, in my mind, it's probably more than 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I have this memory of up at Gavin's house in his parents' driveway, and I took a picture of you holding a red pepper and a bow, like a bow from a violin. And for some reason you had both of those items.
He was going to play it.
You gotta bow the pepper.
I have
cannot
that.
imagine-
I will find that picture.
I cannot imagine what the context was to that.
It's so
That's great.
good. I'll
That's great.
I'm glad that it exists.
yeah.
Uh,
But
In many ways, you look like a bell pepper
and
with the red.
not very far off. Yeah, it's been a long time.
yeah, but this was such a pleasure.
It was.
I really loved going through art and just chatting with you about stuff. Thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you. Garbanzo, great to see you. Max, a real treat.
Yeah.
So I'll
see you too.
I'll be hopping. I'll be watching more of these from now on. That's for sure.
Yeah, you are of course
Okay.
welcome to come back anytime.
Join
you.
anytime.
That's great.
Yeah. I'll keep sending you the emails and stuff. And anybody
Please do.
who's watching, you can get email updates if you send me an email at hotthecat@gmail.com. You can also reach out on social media at hotthecat. Most social medias, Yeah. Any last words, anyone?
I'm almost finished with my game.
Oh yeah, Ruby and Rusty
Where can we
coming out
find it?
soon.
Yep.
Oh yeah, where can we find it? I think
You
I
can
said-
find it on my itch.io page. It's maxoakland.itch.io.
Here it is. Oh no, that's a different one.
You can play a demo of it or buy it. There's going to be a physical copy. I'm very close to being done, and I thought I was done yesterday, and then today, a huge bug popped up randomly, and it took me forever to fix it.
There it is. maxoakland.itch. Ruby and Rusty. Oops. I didn't mean to do that.
Your website didn't work for me, Karlene. I was trying to find it.
Oh,
I'll try it on the computer. It might work better because I have it.
Yeah, I can text it to you too, just to make sure you get.
I haven't updated mine since 2020. It's really funny. I probably should.
All right. Well, that was the hot show. Thank you all for coming down. That was the hot show. Thank you all for sticking around. Hope you had some fun, but now the show is done. So go on, get out of here. Good night.
good night.
Good night.